40 Acres and Maybe a Mule, Chapter 10. Miss Anderson licked her thin lips and said, Miss Harris is sent down here by the American Missionary Association. Pascal watched Miss Anderson tremble. She stared at them as if she hadn't seen many colored people. He was surprised at how bold he felt, how different from just 2 weeks before. His feet were sore from walking, but his heart was healing. Welcome, said Miss Harris, smiling. Won't you step in? She moved aside to wave them in the door. The schoolroom was small, with white plastered walls, plank wooden floors, and the smell of soap. A round wood-burning stove squatted in the center. 5 shyly side by side, a kitchen table faced the chairs. As you can see, said Miss Anderson, waving, conditions are primitive. To Pascal, the room looked like a king's palace. While they stood in the schoolroom, shifting feet, Miss Harris hurried to drag a leather trunk from the back room. Mr. Friedman helped her. She lifted 2 brass clasps and threw open the top. We have slates and chalk and printers. Primers, she said, lifting a writing slate. Don't let them touch it, said Miss Anderson. Her voice grew shrill. They'll break something. I'm just showing them, Miss Harris told her. Shall we learn something now? Dear Miss Harris, said Miss Anderson, I think the crippled child should go home and dress for school. We can't have you ragged, she told Pascal, pointing to his torn-off pants. I have another shirt, he said, but I don't have other pants. There it was again, he thought. She had called him crippled child. That was what everyone saw him first. His crippled leg was weak, twisted hand, but he was a boy with a family farm. His name was on the paper. Well, said Miss Anderson, buy another pair of pants. We don't have enough money, ma'am. This lady didn't seem to understand. Just then, Judith Bibb burst through the door, followed by her brothers and little sister, and then by her parents. School, called Judith. Can I come to school, ma'am? You should say good morning and good afternoon. And may I? Miss Anderson told her, and she shook her head at Miss Harris. Welcome, called Miss Harris. Her smile showed a broad gap between her 2 front teeth. Of course you can attend school, at least until a separate school is open for you. Miss Anderson folded her arms tightly. There are those who fear the mixing of colored and white races, she said. Pascal wondered what that meant. However, Miss Anderson said, I will telegraph for orders, and until we have orders, you may attend school here. The afternoon sun warmed Pascal's back. Prospects of school learning burned in his heart. Now he could be a smarter landowner. They wouldn't lose their farm like some poor white folks did. He could feel his back straighten. 40 acres of land and a school to attend? Wouldn't Mama be pleased? The City and Bibb families finally decided they would return for school in 2 days. Mrs. Bibb said, We have to find our new land and get settled. I'm very, very, very anxious to see the light of it, you know. Glancing down, Miss Anderson stared at her tan apron. She quickly slipped it off and folded it twice over her arm. We'll be looking forward to seeing you, said Miss Harris. I know how it is planting time, she smiled, her gape-toothed smile. And, she said, if grown people can't come during the day, they can attend in the evening. Miss Anderson and I will alternate in teaching night school for adults. Clasping her hands behind her back, she added, By the way, every Friday night, the Union League will hold a meeting here to discuss Republican politics. Everyone is invited. Yes, said Miss Anderson. This storefront is rented by the Union League Clubs of New York. She pressed her lips together. Mrs. Bibb said, Our children never got no schooling. I'm so very, very, very pleased. We came to Georgia. As she spoke, baby Daniel spit white milk down the back of her dark blue dress. Weren't no public schools in the South, nowhere we been, said Judith. Now we go into a real schoolhouse. She stroked the door frame and rested her cheek against it. Pascal glanced down the street where a long line of people waited at the Freedmen's Bureau. He saw 3 riders galloping towards that line, pistols held skyward. Look back there, he yelled, pointing. The riders fired into the office, fired into the crowd. Pascal saw the 2 bureau workers on hands and knees under their outdoor table. No wonder they had been nervous. He heard people screaming, saw children scattering across the street. One horse raced away, dragging its wagon behind, turned on the side. Miss Harris was quick. Down, she called, and scooped inside the doorway. Pascal pulled Gideon and Nellie down, and the others stooped. The riders galloped toward them. One after the other, the 3 men fired into the schoolhouse. Glass shattered and fell, tinkling. Guns smoked, burned Pascal's eyes. Go home, you Yankees, called one rider to the teachers. Go home, face first, or we'll send you back in coffins, feet first.